So one of the big parts about being a dealer in the community is not how much you do or anything like that. It's really about how much you give back. So we're going to focus in on some of that dealer philanthropy and specifically look and talk about ways that the dealer helps to build the community. Each day, dealers offer customers high quality sales service to meet their needs and transportation. And they offer good paying jobs that lead to fulfilling and lifelong automotive careers. But dealers also understand that building culture and giving back not only helps to build communities that they serve, but of course it's also good for business. After any natural disaster, dealers are one of the first groups to actually be out there and set up aid in the efforts to help the community. And the industry level, the NADA Foundation Emergency Relief Fund provides financial assistance to dealership employees that have lost their income. NADA members and partnerships with manufacturers have built nationwide philanthropy programs to support local community initiatives, especially during the holidays. Dealers rally around their communities, providing food, gifts, and critical support. Across the country, NADA dealers raise funds and donate essential items to help ensure that the season brings hope, dignity, and joy to families facing hardships. Our panelists today represent those dealers who have instilled giving back into their dealership's DNA every day in their hometown. So, NADA Live Stage Living Room, do me a favor and please help me welcome up Rita Case, President and CEO of Rick Case Automotive Group in Sunrise, California, and Brian Kilby, co-owner and president of John's Junction Automotive Group in Bel Air, Maryland. Let's give them both a round of applause. Please come on up, grab a seat.
Jones Junction.
All right, so Rita, Brian, pleasure to have you both here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So I've got to tell you, right, I've seen both of your dealerships between the multiple ads, news clippings, social media posts. You guys are synonymous both in your own right for giving back and being involved in the community. And either one can start this answer, but how did that come to be? How did that become part of your DNA?
Well, I think everybody has to have a spark with philanthropy. And our spark was we had 14 bicycle and motorcycle stores in Northeast Ohio, and every Christmas the kids would come in, see the bicycles that we have, and dreamed about having a bicycle. And so one day in Cleveland I said, you know what? I've got to figure out how do I get these kids bikes that their parents can't afford them, and it's your first, freedom. Everybody remembers their first bicycle. It's your first freedom. So what I did was we came up with the idea. We started the Rick Case Bikes for Kids 45 years ago. And we asked the public, if you have a bicycle you no longer need, bring it to any one of the Rick Case dealerships, which we had 14 of these bicycle stores. We'll fix it up and get it to a child that wouldn't have the opportunity to have a bicycle for the holidays. So we were able to expand. We've always done it. We've never stopped for 45 years. And that was kind of our spark with philanthropy. And that got us involved in the community and was a win-win because people had bicycles in their garages they no longer needed, didn't know what to do with them. They brought them to us and we matched them up for a child to have that. So we did some PSAs. We'll show you one of the commercials. These are the current commercials that we ran last year, asking people to bring in their bicycles that they no longer need. This is an example. For over 40 years, the Rick Case Bikes for Kids program has collected thousands of bikes for kids in our community.
So if you have a bike you no longer need, bring it to any Rick Case dealership.
And we'll get it to a child in time for the holidays.
So we've done it for 45 years. That was obviously a long time ago. But, it's really, we started with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And then now, after 45 years, the local school system, synagogues, churches, they all know that we collect these bikes and they all come and they get them. People don't bring in bicycles that need major repairs. They understand. And it's just a great program, and that's how we got our spark. And from there, we've just continued our philanthropy through like all of us, all different areas.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's great. I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, that bike, I remember my first bike, and then I was kind of the first thing I customized, actually. I remember adding pegs and doing the wheels and all the handlebars and the seats and all that fun stuff. So I think you're absolutely correct. Brian, how'd you guys get your spark, as Rita called it?
We've been in business 109 years, and it's always been in our culture to give back. But for me, It really started with the Jimmy Fund, which is now Hope on Wheels for the Hyundai franchise. Me and my wife and Danny Jones, my partner, we got involved in that, and we in our community or in our Hyundai group, we give back to Johns Hopkins. And when you go there and you see the kids that are surviving and using it, and the doctors that are using the money for the research, it really got me to thinking about how important it really is to give back in a local community. And over the years, we've done this stuff with the Sheriff's Drive and the Toys for Tots and the stuff for the Christmas. So we just feel very blessed that we can do it, and our employees like it as much as we do. So it's been a big part of our career in my life.
That's great. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you, because you both mentioned it and talking about the people. Now, because you've been doing this so long, how have you organized like the people at the dealership level? Do you have staff that's specifically dedicated to the philanthropy side, or how do you work this out to maintain it and then obviously, of course, grow it every year?
Well, we have a pretty structured system. We have our own website, we have our own email address, because we get asked for philanthropy like all car dealers do. Car dealers are the #1 in every single town that gives back the most as a group. There's no other group of businesses in any town that gives more than the car dealerships, whether it's the baseball teams, whether it's the American Heart, whatever it is. So we have a website where all these different organizations can go. They submit what they'd like us to do. They submit their ask for the sponsorships, and then we do have a staff that goes through those, coordinates those, and then asks me what we want to, participate in. We can't participate in everything. We always have a very well thought out response if we're saying no, because we do have to say no often. And so that's what we have as far as that goes. And we do have the Rick Case Cares, which is our brand for our associates. Our associates are very much involved. We ask them to volunteer, but we do pay them their rate, their hourly rate or whatever, when they do come out and they do work at the Habitat houses. They do the shoe program with us. They do the Heart Walk. We're involved with Junior Achievement. They come out and they volunteer there. They want to volunteer. They wear their Rick Case shirts, and it's very coordinated so that we can get as many of our associates involved and building our image obviously building our image in our market, that we do give back and we do care about everything, whether it's the shoe program or American Heart Walk or Habitat, and that's how we get our associates involved. They're all volunteering to do it, but it's been something that is very rewarding for us to be able to offer it to our associates as well.
That's great. And then, Brian, I'm going to give you a chance to answer. And then after, I want to show, we've got some video to show some insight for those folks out there about some of the things you're doing as well. But please, go ahead and give you a chance to answer.
And we do run a Jones for a Cause. It's a website that we put everything through, and there's a team that goes through the charities and the ask, and then we just make our decisions. There's a group of us that make the decisions. So we do pride ourselves in that. And, of course, any employee that has something they would like for us to look at, we look at that also.
Oh, that's great. So you give the employees a chance to kind of bring suggestions in.
Yes, or causes that they would like to support.
Okay, so if it's something personal to them, they get that opportunity. Is great.
Yes.
Let's give, so folks have an understanding, let's give them some insight. I know we've got a commercial that you've put together.
Yeah, so real quick, my partner Danny and Gail Jones, they just gave a significant gift to a local hospital that's within 5 miles of our dealership of $20 million. Wow. And I think that's what you're going to see about right now.
That's amazing.
It was
For more than 108 years, Jones Junction has been more than an automotive group. It's been part of the fabric of our community, and we're just getting started.
I think it's just in my nature, being in business, any of our employees that have any problems or issues, I just want to help just because I can help. As far as really helping, I think the money through being in business and investments we've made has afforded us the chance to make a huge donation that'll help this hospital and this whole community, which will help the most people that I know how to reach.
primary care is really the center of the care that we provide our patients. This gift is really going to allow us to expand the services that we provide and really be on the cutting edge of what's needed for the community and the type of care that they need to receive.
I think a lot of people struggling with a mental issue. It's huge. And about the primary care, I think that's just something that we really need here in the county, because there's not that many places to go, and people need attention immediately.
You're only here for a flash, basically. And I think you just have to do what you can while you can, you know, to try to help the community, people, even other businesses.
That's what makes a community, helping each other, setting a good example for our younger generations to watch us give and help, you know, instills in them that they should follow suit.
Yeah, the Jones support for the community will be transformational for Harford County, for all our employees, for all our customers, and just, it's huge for the community.
We need to pass it on. People support us in our business, and, you know, they've allowed us to build a wonderful business, and it was a family business, and it's third generation, and it's like, but you have to keep passing it on. And I think that's where we're at. We just want to help. We want to pass on.
I think, you know, employing all the people that I do, my employees are number one. And I just want them to know that I do care about each and every one of them, and what they do means so much. Gail and I are very giving and caring people for the community, and we just like to help take care of people. That's our legacy.
Nice job. I love it.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So, couple takeaways that I hope everyone out there caught. Of course, it's about the people, right? That was the biggest thing. And I love how he said, this was the idea for me to be able to help as many people as I could. And then his wife kind of sentimented that with saying, hey, you know what? We're here for a flash.
That's right.
You have to do what you can while you can. With that in mind, you both have obviously been doing this for a very long time. Are there any moments or any kind of, you know, things that have happened where you can remember, and there are those memories where you say, this is why I do it? Any special moments or memories that you have that you like to share with the folks out there?
Go ahead. You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Ladies first.
Yes, right.
Absolutely. We started a shoe program because I'm very much about education. My number one goal and my number one priority in philanthropy is education, because I believe that education is the greatest gift you can give someone at any age. Once it's given, it can never be taken away. And I also believe that education opens the first door of opportunity. And from there, it's determination, perseverance, persistence, and passion that's going to get that person on in life and hopefully to a career, and a happy career. So I'm really centered around education. And one of the things I discovered over the years was that children, I'm talking about grade school children, if they don't have branded shoes when they go to school, it affects self-esteem, it affects going to school, wanting to go to school, staying in school. So I started a program called For Every Kid, which is a shoe program, which I think you saw in some of the video, some of the pictures that were up there, where every single child in Broward County, which is 135,000 youth in Broward County, we're a very large public school system that's been identified as homeless, which was 7,500, get a brand new pair of branded, meaning Nike, Reebok, Adidas shoes in the fall and in the summer from my program, which is called For Every Kid. And I'll tell you, when you try those shoes on, which you saw some of the pictures, that is a joy, a tearful joy of happiness. It's just an amazing joy to see these kids go, I've never gotten a pair of shoes in a box. I've never, had a brand new pair of branded shoes. And that has been something I started several years ago, and it's proven to work. These kids are making it through school. And so I'd have to say That's number one. That, and then giving on stage the diploma at the local university where we have scholarship funds, the Rick K. Scholarship Fund, and handing that diploma to a Boys and Girls Club alumni for a 4-year graduation program, and seeing them go on, generationally change the lives of their family, because they're all first generation from the Boys and Girls Club to ever go to college.
That's great. That's phenomenal.
A couple of thoughts, but I think the Jimmy Fund was a big one for me,
Okay.
which is now Hope on Wheels, where you see the survivors speak about their cancer, survival and what they did. That was a big one. And I think we just did one last year. And then where we're at, we're in Maryland, Baltimore would say, but we're north of that. Last year we did a deal with a local middle school that my wife participated in, and we had 26 employees from our Jones store and our Bel Air Subaru store, and we gave jackets, hats back. And one of the principals or the teachers told my wife, they're going to say that the students are going to say they just came to school today and they didn't have a jacket because they left it at home. But what we did know, and the principals and of course the staff knows, they didn't have jackets at all. So just hearing that and how that made them so happy, multiple, Janie said that, she's here today, that it changed their lives in such a way, it was huge.
Yeah, and it's amazing because what you both mentioned is something that I think sometimes a lot of us take for granted. Very practical things.
Yeah.
Shoes on your feet, coat on your back.
And we just did a shoe campaign a week ago at the same middle school, and it was huge, huge again.
Yeah. And being able to do something so practical, because those are the things that, like you said, they change people's lives. And it's a little thing to some of us, but it's a big thing to others. And so being mindful of that, I think, is great.
Yeah.
What about, so I know that, of course, through the years, there have been programs that have been phenomenal, right? And they have done great things. Has there been any programs where you thought, this is going to be a great idea, and maybe it wasn't such a great idea?
Well, I have one story, and that was in September. There's a campaign. It's a national thing about making sure your child is safe in the car seat. It's a car seat, awareness month. So I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to ask, like the Bikes for Kids, I'm going to ask all of my customers to bring in their car seats that they no longer need, and I'm going to tell people that if you have a child, come in, you're going to get this free car seat. This is so smart. Well, it wasn't that smart, because people don't want to use somebody else's car seat. There was a giant liability involved where the dealership was giving a car seat, maybe your car seat, to another customer, but we were the person in between, and there was a liability involved. What if that car seat didn't perform and there was an accident? But the idea I thought was great, because these car seats today are like $400, and the kids outgrow them now in 6 months because there's all these different levels. My kids had one car seat through the whole time, but that was 40 years ago. Now you have a car seat for 0 to 5 years old or 5 months old, and then it goes on.
Yeah.
So that was a flop idea, and so we never ended up doing it, but I thought it was a great one.
Listen, as a father of a toddler, I definitely get it. It's a lot that goes in that car seat. You pull up the back of that car seat, you're like, how did this even, when did you have strawberries? Like, right? So I definitely understand. My parents out there, they know. They're like, wait, where did this come from? What about you, Brian?
I'm gonna say a funny one that turned out to be funny. We were supporting the Marines on a toy drive at one store, and we're supporting the sheriff's toy drive at another store. So I have a very aggressive Toyota manager on staff, and he decided to give both of them to the Marines, all the toys we collected to one. So we just thought it was fine, right? Everything's fine. So then the sheriff's department shows up for their toy drive, and we'd already given all the toys away. But we made amends to it, and we figured it out. But I just thought that just give you a little humor in that. But it was a lot of fun that day. Everybody's looking for the extra toys, and it disappeared. Deborah, my CFO, she calls me, and she says, I think we got a problem. We gave all the toys to the Marines instead of the sheriff's department.
I love that. I love that. That's, well, I mean, hey, it's, it works out. The reason I asked that question, because I wanted everyone out there to know, right? sometimes it's not that it's going to go perfect. It's not that you've got the best idea and that it's going to go the way that you plan, but it's about consistently doing, trying, and figuring it out. I think the biggest piece is identifying the needs of the people and then just asking that question, how can I help fill the need?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you both have captured in a great and phenomenal way.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate all the efforts that you continue to do. We appreciate you being here with us today. And as NADA, we're proud to have you up here and continue to support as you continue to serve the communities that you're in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give them both a round of applause and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Absolutely.